had another idea, right? The topic of being directionless in the sense that you don't know where you're going or how you're going to get there, but you just know that in the situation that you're in now, it's not right or it's not enough. And I feel like a lot of people get here and what they do is they just turn to short term gratification constantly, where it's like drugs, alcohol. Alcohol's a drug, but it's just like stimulants, depressants, phones, food, um, like internet pornography, just like the constant dopamine fix where in the moment it feels like they're being entertained, but then all those things are just followed with shame because whether they admit it or not, it's not solving the problem. It's only dulling the pain that they're having. And I feel like a lot of us have struggled with at least one of the things that I've named. And some of us are still struggling with it, right? But it just comes down to the first step of like acknowledging that you have a problem, right? The worst kinds of people are the people who blame everyone else but themselves and are constantly talking about how they want to get better or not even want, how they should. Oh, I should quit or I should do this. But they never actually take the steps because I think it's one of two reasons. They're either too scared or they don't care enough, right? It's like they'll tell you that they want to change, but they'll never make the steps that they want to or that would get them to what they want. And I think that it's kind of the reason why so many people are depressed or even feel that they're depressed. I think that there's like two avenues of people. It's like they kind of mix up, like they think that the issues are out of their control. And so they feel like they're helpless in the sense that nothing that they could do would ever make things better and that all they can do is turn to that short-term gratification. But what they don't realize that is that as soon as you let go of that those fleshly desires and you start to look towards tomorrow as in like what can you do today to be better tomorrow and so on, you build up such a strong foundation with your habits and even letting your habits build off of each other. So it's like wake up, brush your teeth and shower. I know like people who don't even have the motivation to do that. But if you can get up and get that ball rolling, how easy it is to then eat a healthy breakfast, start on a little bit of your homework or read a book, go exercise. You've already done so many productive things and you're going to be feeling so much better just with that simple like game plan of like one step to the next, right? It's like that compound habit of like I'm going to get up early and do this and making sure you're having a good night's sleep. It's like it all. My dog just opened the slider on its own. So I think all of these things would help people. And I don't think anyone ever tells them that. They tell them, like, oh, it's okay to be depressed. I'm depressed too. Oh, it's okay to smoke because I smoke. It's okay to binge drink because I binge drink. And instead, we should be empowering each other to be like, hey, we don't need this. We could stick together. We could find healthier alternatives. But it also comes down to what we see our role models doing, right? Like parents set the example. If you've seen your parent come home from work every day and just binge drink and go straight to the bottle, like that's probably what you're going to do and it's probably going to be your outlet as well. And it's important to know that there's so many more options than you might see and that you would feel so much better if you were treating yourself as someone, as if you were someone that you loved, like your loved one or your sister or your brother. Like treat your body how you would want to treat them. Put the things in your body that you would want them to live by too, you know? you have to love yourself the same way that you love others, because if you're constantly in that self-destructive mindset, it's like you're sabotaging yourself constantly. I think that there's so many, like, I think that honestly living as minimalistic as possible is the solution to so many things. Like relying on the least amount of tech, relying on the least amount of stimulants. I'm a daily coffee drinker, so I consider that to be my vice. But this is coming from someone who's had a lot worse vices, a lot worse things I've been putting in my body that made me feel terrible. It was like a short term fix, but it only delayed the inevitable shame. And just like, there's like a feeling where you're wasting your potential. It's like, I'm putting this drug in my body to numb, but oh, like, whatever, right? Until eventually you're like, fuck this. I could be so much better. I could be stronger, smarter, happier if I would just put it down, go a few days. You're going to want it. But if you can just get past that, which you can, anybody can do it, then that like freeing feeling that you can get from being one step closer to the best version of yourself, it's almost like you have to take that first initial leap of faith and apply it to all areas of your life that need it. So take a self reflection. Think about it. How many things am I doing half ass, not to the best of my ability? How many things am I trying in my hardest and feeling accomplished about? And how many things am I doing just because someone else has validated it, and so I do it to please them? And I think that's the first thing you knock off, because anything that you don't do because your own desire or for the benefit of yourself, it's not worth doing. Like if somebody, like that whole peer pressure sense, everybody's heard of it. I don't need to explain it. But if you feel like you have to do things just to stay around people, and those people aren't building you up, but rather either keeping you on their level or making sure that they're friends with you, but making sure that you never pass them or can improve, I think environment is the biggest thing that holds people down. Think about it. You are who you surround yourself with. And if your friends are constantly allowing you to wreck your body, or not try your hardest, or they're not raising you up, those are not the people you need to be with. You need to be with people who are checking you on your bullshit, saying, yo, you've been eating like shit, you've been doing drugs all weekend, haven't been exercising, you haven't been doing your homework, or you haven't been showing up to work, or you've been calling out. Like, these are the kinds of friends that you should have, those people who can have those hard conversations with you and tell you when you're being a dipshit. But it's so much easier to hang out with people who are doing the same things as you, so they'll never call you out, or they're allowing you to do this so that you never level up. And when I think about it, you have these friends, and as soon as you start climbing up, either they come with you or you come down to still be with them. But if they allow you to bring them up and they want to make the same changes, those are the friends that you can have for life. But if you have a certain group of people that are constantly putting you down, or even just putting others down, you see that they're always like pushing negative energy around. Those are the people with the most internal problems, who are not self-reflecting, and they're trying to have an output. They're trying to have their coping mechanism would be to try and push that energy onto other people to suffer the same way they do. And that doesn't work either. So all in all, in this message, I would say, have some self-reflection on yourself and the way you've been living your life, and in all those areas that your reason and logic is telling you, hey, I shouldn't be doing this, or hey, I could be doing this better. Start to actually listen to that voice, especially with the friends. It's so much better to be alone or lonely than it is to be in the presence of negativity, right? Because I'd argue that you're more lonely in the presence of negativity, even if there's people, rather than having a positive and healthy mind all by yourself. So, for anyone who might benefit from this message, I hope you do. For anyone who says, shut the fuck up, it's all good, bro.